that this business really can get you financial freedom. It can be run, it can be done without you when you set up the systems and the processes to make that stuff happen. Let's see. Today is Monday, December 8th, 6:15 a.m. on the dot. I love Mondays. I love Mondays just because I obviously enjoy what I do. I love business, and nothing moves over the weekends because the rest of the world is not working. So today's Monday, coming off a big weekend. Just had actually a baby shower and family and friends get together up in Cincinnati, Ohio, over the weekend. And so coming off of that, a lot of love, a lot of prayer, just a lot of just good. You could just feel it. You could just feel it in the room. That was a very good experience this weekend. Of course, while I was doing that, on Saturday, I actually had a truck running. And so that was pretty cool and neat to see again that this business really can get you financial freedom. It can be run, it can be done without you when you set up the systems and the processes to make that stuff happen. And so I did have one truck run on Saturday while I was on the road, headed to Cincinnati, Ohio to see family and friends. But of course, if you are new here, my name is Robert Rayner. I left my full-time mechanical engineering job to grow and scale my final mile white glove trucking business. And I ended up doing 20 trucks, $10 million in revenue in 6 years. And now I'm going back and rebuilding the business from scratch and documenting the entire process along the way. And so some new news. Let's see, I think the last time I did a video was that minor accident we had, but still getting things figured out with that driver, trying to figure out how can I set him up the best for success. Really trying to figure that one out. And just taking it day by day, figuring out what can I do different as a leader, communicate, and also put stuff in writing so it's not just all verbal. I do not like doing anything verbal. I like to document everything. And that is how you hold a standard. That's how you hold everybody accountable when it's in writing. Not only me, but also him. But that's lays out with the driver. Accounts. Right now, we have 2 accounts going. We've got the Wayfair account, of course, and Lowe's. The Lowe's one is the one I'm trying to figure out if it's even worth doing. We're no longer running at the XDT unless I find guys who can do that type of work and know what they're getting themselves into. We're actually running at the back of the store. But the catch with the back of the store routes, very, very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. So Spirit Logistics, whatever reason that they have it set up, we're running a different store. We're in the Nashville area, but there's like 5 stores around here and we're running at each one. We're not going to the same store every day. They have us moving around, which I'm going to ask to see what's up with that. I know some of the stores only run Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then some run Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So there's going to be an automatic rotation just with that, but we're bouncing around multiple locations and in different cities that are not that far away. But again, it's diesel that's not accounted for. And we're running into the issue right now where we have returns, we'll have pickups. So we have to go back to the store, but that's not where we're parking our truck at every day. And so not only time being lost for the guys, diesel being burned on my end, and it just makes things a little bit more complicated because Lowe's back to store operations also have this thing called a commingle. So you'll load up at one store, do a few stops off of that route, but then you'll have another store that you'll go to get more stops to make more money. But again, when you get returns and stuff, that mileage and stuff, it's not accounted for if you have any returns or any pickups. And so that's the issue we're running into. But not only that, also we're running into the issue of cancellations. We're getting paid per stop. I'm confirming with Spirit Logistics for routes of 12 stops. And then by the time we leave the dock, that route's down to 7 stops. We get all of our routes 100% completed at the end of the day, but it's somehow managing to go from 12 stops confirmed to 7 stops actually routed. And I don't know what's causing that, just due to store cancellations or whatnot, but that's something that you deal with stores. Another thing that you deal with the stores, those commingle stops I just talked about, where you actually go to another Lowe's store and load up, it'll be a stop on your route, but you don't get paid for that. At least not with the logistics company I'm with. You don't get paid for that. And so there's just all these little things. It's like we're going to a store and loading up and picking up to parlor out. We're using diesel, all that, even labor to go get the stuff, and we're not getting paid, which is not a big deal as long as those stops you're getting, of course, are worth that. But it's so inconsistent, I can't make it up. We had a route just the other day. We only had 7 stops. That's why this is real stuff I'm going through right now. This isn't stuff I'm making up. 7 stops. $65 per stop is very, very good. Very, very good for this business. Or at least this model, if you're going through a broker. If you're going, direct to contract, probably looking more like 100 stops, but that's the whole other conversation for another day. And so, yeah, 65 per stop is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But when you're only getting 7 stops on your truck, like you can't even make more money if you wanted to. That's the problem, right? I'm dealing with right now with this Spirit Logistics account. And it always makes you think too, why isn't there a contractor already doing this extremely easy work? You see why? Because it's inconsistent and there's not money to be made. But the back of the store operations can literally differ from store to store. So of course, if you're watching this video, I want to do back on the store route. It's not gonna make any money. You gotta see and feel it out first. Have your 3PL send you, the last 3 weeks of stop counts, not routed stop counts, completed stop counts. That's what you want to know. How much are you going to actually make? Not how much can you make? How much are you going to actually make? And so it's got me thinking too, why wouldn't I put all my eggs at the Wayfair account? It's consistent, flat rate, daily pay, and we don't have to deal with any of these issues. It's got its own nuances, of course. Every account is going to have its own nuances, but again, what's actually worth pursuing and doing? And so that's just something to think about. But head to the store right now to check out and see what all is on the trucks, because like I said, one of my drivers, I don't believe he dropped off and returned everything that needed to be returned to, and we've gone to 6 or 7 different stores in the last 3 days. And so, of course, if you don't return everything to the store that it belongs to, you will catch a claim. When it goes on your truck, it is 100% your responsibility until it gets either to the customer's home and delivered or brought back to the store. So right now, I'm basically getting ahead of things and going to see what all is on this truck exactly and where does it need to go. I had a call with him the other day, let him know exactly what to do and when to do it, and of course it did not get done. So now I'm basically covering his butt and mine, because I don't like taking money out of guys' checks, and that's what's going to end up happening unless we get this figured out. But that's the latest right now. I'm pulling up to the Lowe's store right now. And main thing being, I just know how the stuff goes. The stuff's sitting on the truck. The store's going to be looking for it. They're not going to see it or find it. They're going to throw a claim in for Spirit Logistics. Spirit Logistics is going to send me the notification of the claim. And until they get it back, it's going to be a wide open claim, potential for loss. Something else I told him to let him know. When you do return anything, take a picture of it on the dock, exactly where you left it, exactly where you put it. If you don't have that picture showing where you left it or where you put it, someone in that store is going to move it from where you left it. They're not going to be able to find it. They're going to think you still have it, and they're going to charge you a claim. But now, you don't even have it anymore. So how are you going to prove that you returned it? What's the only way you can prove something? No questions asked. Pictures and videos. Whenever you drop something off, return it, take a picture, and send it to them. Very simple. But we're going to the Lowe's store now, but to see what all's still in the truck and see if we can avoid any losses. Like I said, though, that's the way you win at this game. The way you win at Final Mile White Glove is avoiding losses like the plague. Avoid losses like the plague. I know every which way you can lose money in this business, and I avoid it. That's what I'm doing right now. Not only for my driver, but also for my business. All right, so I get onto the back of the truck, and there's stuff from all 3-4 stores on the back of the truck still. And the dolly missing. So I got to figure that one out. And of course, equipment does cost. That's a whole nother thing. Just make sure you stay on your teams and hold them to the standard that you know you want them to work at. And if somebody's not meeting it, of course, especially when you lay out clear guidelines and expectations and stuff's just not getting done, you got to figure out why. And a lot of times I like to look at myself and see myself as the reason, but you also got to look and see the person. It's going to be a man-to-man conversation, figuring out what's going on. But outside of that, now I'm headed to the XDT because the very first settlement from Spirit Logistics, of course, was shorted. 2 stops, so that's a total of like $105. But when you talk about trucking, the margins are so tight. That $105, that's a tank of gas. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the margins are so tight with trucking. You can't afford any hiccups or mess ups. And so, of course, we had our settlement show up in the Spirit portal, and I track it. I track every single route, every single day. How many stops we got delivered, how many got completed, how many were not at home. So track everything. And so when that settlement shows up short, of course, my red flags come up, and I end up going to my pay log, my spreadsheet that I use to track every single route, and compared it. And I was able to pinpoint very quickly what days, what routes we got shorted. And sure enough, Spirit Logistics, they ended up getting back to me and let me know, okay, one of the stops was on them where they forgot to pay it out. It's going to get corrected. And there's another one where apparently we didn't upload any pictures. And these are routes that I ran myself. And so I know for a fact we take pictures, but I'm thinking, I don't know if I had one of the guys I was training running the app and he might have uploaded to the wrong stop, or maybe even I was rushing and uploaded them to the wrong stop. But I'm headed to the XDT right now to figure out what exactly happened, because this item also shows delivered, but we didn't get any pictures of it in the house, which to me is like forgetting to brush your teeth in the morning. You know what I mean? For me to not put delivery pictures in the app is like forgetting to put your shoes on in the morning, because it's just a part of the job. You don't forget to do something like that, especially when it's just so ingrained that it's part of the work. It's part of the job scope. So I'm headed to the XDT right now to get that figured out and figure out this shortage. And that's really it for here. But also, I'm going to see if I can get in the EDP, see if I can get one of them to pull up the delivery routes in EDP to figure out where these items go at that were on the truck that I just left. All right, so I'm leaving the XDT now, and it was good. It was good. Ended up getting my placards, for my trucks, and was able to review and figure out and get to the bottom of exactly what happened for this delivery and then retrip. And yeah, it was a customer. We went out there, we did the full install, did everything, but there was no pictures uploaded. I don't know why there's no pictures. Again, like I said, me not taking pictures is like forgetting to put your shoes on in the morning. It's just something I do. And so I don't know if I had the guys running the app, they didn't get the pictures. That's probably what happened. But either way, we ended up going back to that same customer's house, I want to say like 2 days later, and it was to level the doors, or there was missing screws or something, but they claimed we didn't hook the fridge up on the first trip, which we did. They called us back out there because the customer thought something was wrong with the fridge, and there wasn't. So we should have gotten paid for 2 stops and only got paid for the 1. Or got paid for 2. Or no, that's right. Should have gotten paid for 2 stops, only got paid for 1. But with that, I was also able to get to the bottom of this driver and taking pictures and just how much is not getting done. So now headed back home to catch up on stuff and keep this day rolling. Really, of course, if you enjoyed this video and are enjoying the journey, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to hit the link in the description. We'll get your business right, get you systemized and squared away.